On Daf 19 of the Megillah, we get Masechet Megillah, we get a question: where do we need to start reading the Megillah from in order to fulfill the mitzvah of doing the Megillah reading? And a number of different opinions are given. And then Gemara asks, well, why do we even care? Why is this such an important question? What's the difference between these different opinions? And it says as follows: it's all about what you consider the essential story we're trying to tell. Are we telling a story about this bumbling king and everything that happens in his kingdom? Are we telling the story about this wicked man who wants to destroy the Jews? Are we telling the story of this righteous Jew who rises up and saves everybody through his righteousness? Are we telling the story of this miracle that God makes happen in order to redeem the people? Depending on which story we choose to be telling, well, that distinguishes where we need to really start the essential reading from. So if you kind of skip the prologue before that, you haven't missed anything, but if you missed the essential part, okay, then you haven't fulfilled your obligation of reading the Megillah. Now, this fairly simple teaching really came up. It really hit me hard a couple of weeks ago when I first hit this daf. And the reason is at the time I went from learning my daf to then going to a shiva house where somebody had just passed away and sitting with his son and widow and talking about him, talking about his life, talking about everything he had done. And it really hit me how similar this is really. Here we are, we're talking about a person's life, and there's only so much you can capture. People are coming in and out the entire time. What do we focus on? What do we talk about? What is the essential story we want to convey in sitting a half hour, an hour with the family, and they start telling about who this person was? They can't tell everything. What is the essential story we choose to dig in on? And I'll turn it inward. If I was to then ask you, well, what is the essential story of your life? What has your life been about? Where would you start to tell it? Where would you say, I was born in Mount Sinai Hospital in Hartford, Connecticut in 1974, which is where I happen to be born? Or would you go on and, start at some later date that really kind of captures more of who you became, not the kind of the generic opening scene of the life? An interesting question to ponder.